Hey guys, SRC Reptiles, and today we're going to be doing a weighing video. I have not weighed my corn snake since June. Normally I don't weigh him every month now that he is to like proper adult weight. But I did notice that he is out today roaming in his tank, which you can see he's like right there. So I am going to attempt to get him, which it's not like he's aggressive or tries to run or anything. But the moment I open the tank door, he's probably going to try to bolt back into his hot hide, because normally he would be asleep right now. He does, of course, kind of roam sometimes during the day. I have noticed. I don't know if it's just kind of that time of year where snakes would be normally roaming to kind of look for places to like shelter for the winter, or I don't really know the breeding season for corn snakes because I have obviously never wanted to breed. But he's been on a feeding strike for like the last month. And it's not uncommon. He normally does it once a year, sometimes twice a year. And he's, of course, a healthy weight. So we're going to go ahead and try to get him real quick and see if I can weigh him. So here's Raja. He's really pretty because half of his stomach is white and black checkered, as where the end half slowly fades into a really pretty kind of blushing orange color. And it's kind of hard to see right now, but he was not happy that I got him out of his tank. So, but obviously I went ahead and wrangled him out, and now he's really curious what I'm doing, climbing on my camera. So I'm going to go ahead and put him in a snake bag, and then we'll go ahead and weigh him. Okay, so I've got the snake bag zeroed out so that it will not be weighing the bag, and it'll just be weighing him. So he has lost a little bit, probably because of the strike he's going on. And it could just be that he's lost a little bit from last month as well, and I just didn't obviously weigh him. He still is in a good range of weight, but definitely not always a good thing when they are losing. But he hasn't been acting like he is not healthy, so I'll just have to keep an eye on him. I don't know if it's just because where he hasn't been wanting to eat lately, or if it's because of the move and the stress of him getting moved and stuff. Which it's been 3 months, so actually I highly doubt that's a problem. So anyway, I'll go ahead and write down 319. And then we'll move on to the geckos. Put that on there real quick. But yeah, this is just a snake bag. Got it off of Pangea. Obviously, you don't want to be putting your hand in here if you think that your snake's going to bite you, but I know Raja won't bite me, so. Sometimes they... Whoop! Kind of acted like he was freaking out for a second. There we go. You might be able to see the orange a little bit better now since he is out, so you can see the really pretty orange color there. But yeah. Raja's my big boy. He's hopefully going to be getting an update to his tank soon, because obviously his tank is small. And I feel bad because I haven't been able to afford, after I bought the tanks for the geckos, to get him a larger tank, because the one that's for him is going to be a lot more expensive than the tank that I got for the crested geckos. But when I do get the tank, it's going to still be 3 foot wide, and it's still going to be 18 inches in depth, but it's going to be 2 foot tall instead, so it's going to be the same height as the crested geckos tanks, just to kind of give you an idea. So even though it'll still be the same length, it will give him like up to here in height. So at least I'll be able to have a lot more decorations. He'll be able to spread out a lot more, because I feel bad because there are no tanks that I can find that are 4 foot long to put him in, that are with front opening doors and not top accessible only. Because if I only can get him from the top, then his tank wouldn't be able to be on here, and I could risk Blossom jumping on it, and I just don't want to risk that. But anyway, we'll go ahead and move on to the crested geckos. Okay, so if Ember is not in her coconut, we're going to do her first. So last month she weighed 73 grams. So I'm going to turn this on real quick. Always make sure, which I've already done it, but always make sure to have some way to test to make sure that your scale is weighing properly. And I would put it, oh, now it's reading 1 gram less than it was earlier. What the heck? Okay, there we go. I always try to check each corner as well as the center to make sure it's reading properly, because if one part is not reading properly, then if the animal is in that area, then it will weigh less than it actually is. So now I've checked it completely now that I don't know why it was being weird. So we'll come over here and see if Ember... Oh, there she is. This is one of her newer additions to her tank, because the old one wasn't as deep, and it didn't have this thing, but at least this gives her more room to lay in there. Pick her up. She's fired up right now. One thing that's interesting with geckos is, oops, sorry, the older they get, oh, she's misfiring, so she actually has spots that are fired and spots that are fired down, which is kind of cool looking. Looks like she has stripes. But with adult geckos, sometimes their colors fade from when they were babies. And with Ember, that has been the case, because when she was young, all this patterning along the side here was a really pretty orange. And now that she is older, because she's 6, making sure her tail was on there and everything, then I will normally pick them up and sit them back down just to make sure that the weight is the correct one. No, stay on the scale. Okay, so it's saying 69 like it was a second ago. I don't know if it's because I was making her move around when I was moving her tail, but at least that is a good weight, because in the 70s, that is overweight, and I haven't been giving any of the adults insects. Hold on a second. It keeps going back down to 68, so I'm just going to put 68. But anyway, I have been keeping from getting the adults insects, because I have dubia roaches, but I've been saving those for the babies, or for Twix, since he's technically a baby, and then the 2-year-old babies, which I still call them babies because obviously they were hatched out here, so I probably am just always going to call them babies even though they're adults. But I save the insects for my scorpion, and then of course for the younger crested geckos, and I haven't been giving any to the adults just because of the fact that most of them are doing just fine without having to have insects added to the diet. Oh, there's Magma. I can see his tail right here. So sometime I want to redo, after I clean their tanks, redo the tank, not with his because I like how it's set up, but with hers, because I have this cork log I need to wash for her. And I just like how his is set up. It's very dense, but it has a lot of places for him to move around and hide, because it's got 2 cork logs in there. All these plants, and I feel bad because I look at Ember's and hers is, it's there, but it needs extra. Like, I like the bare bones of hers, but it needs more stuff, because like his is really nice looking, and it's just like, I feel bad when I look at hers. So that just turned off. Get that turned on here. So we'll go ahead and put Magma on here real quick. Blaze technically was the next one in the book, but being that her tank is what this is sitting on, her and Snickers will be going last. So he is 52 grams. So we'll turn to his page. And he was 54 grams last month, so that is good, because he always is in the middle 50s to low 60s. That's normally what he is always at. So it was 52. So normally for him that is pretty common. Get the pin on there. So now we'll go ahead and do one of the younger ones next, I should say. Not really sure which one. We'll probably just pick one that is not hiding. Go ahead and stick him on his little ledge there. There's Harmony right now, right there, so we'll probably do her next. Okay, so Harmony last month was 44 grams. So we will see what she weighs this month. Oh, so she is 42, it's saying. So that's not bad at all, because I think it was about a week ago that she laid eggs. So 42 grams is good. Write that down. There we go. So yeah, Harmony here, of course, is the one that has the little eggies, which she and Mischief, of course, were showed in the last video. And I feel stupid still because I forgot to put the pictures in there, so I'll probably put them in this one. I'll probably put it at the end of the video, though, instead of interrupting the video with pictures, just so you guys can enjoy them, but at the end of the video. So this is Indigo's tank, and she always normally is hiding back here. Yep, there she is. Here we go. Okay, here's Indigo. She also has some misfiring going on where it's dark here in the center, and then on her back and her throat it's fired down. So we'll do her next. Stick her on the scale. Nope, This, of course, is the only baby from Ember that I'm keeping. Hey, please stay on there. I try to get their whole entire body and their tail. Oh, okay. No, stop. Dang it. Okay, I got her to sit still for 5 seconds. It is reading 53. So, let's see, Indigo is this direction. I think. Maybe not. Wrong way. I don't even know which way to go in my own book. Okay, so last month she was also 53. That's funny. So she is holding a consistent weight from last month. Now I've decided that next year I will of course be breeding Twix with Snickers. But I decided, because of the fact, and you'll get to see Twix here in a second, Twix has a very pretty solid dorsal, or almost completely solid. And I was looking at Indigo, and her dorsal is very similar. It's not completely solid, but it has that potential, that cream going down the center there. So, and of course she is a tricolor as well. Not, of course, as showy of a tricolor as Snickers is, but she is still tricolor. So I've decided that I will, of course, breed Twix to Snickers first, but depending on how next year goes and how much space I have, I might decide to breed Indigo with him as well at the same time. Just because I am curious to see what the babies will turn out looking like from both, since they both have different mothers, but they both have same fathers when it comes to Snickers and Indigo. Being that that is the case, I am curious to see if there's any different genetics that will come through in one female versus the other. So this here is Twix temporary setup until he's big enough to be moved into this empty tank down here. And of course, by the time he's moved into that tank, it's not going to be next to the scorpion tank because I don't want those lights to disturb him. And that's why I have this towel here so that those lights can't come up underneath his tank since it is see-through. I'm going to pause this and look for him real quick. Okay guys, so Twix was 15.20 grams last month, and you can really see his progression from when I first got him till now. So I have his little deal set up here. I'm going to zero that out so that it doesn't weigh his little cup. And I'm going to sit him in there. Blossom is now in here because he was meowing a bunch because he wanted in here. But anyway, this is Twix. He's fired down right now. So we'll see if he will stay in this without the lid on. Okay. Holy smokes. Oh. Would you please hold still? You're not being forced to stay in the cup with a lid and everything. You're willingly sitting in there. Now stop. Hey. Stop it. Most of the time, if I can get them worn out, in the sense of just pushing him back in there until he finally is like, okay, fine, I won't get out. Okay, here we go. So it's reading 18.43. Oh, he's moving, so it's making it fluctuate. We'll probably just go with 1842 since it keeps fluctuating so much. Now, I had to zero this out quite a bit because of the fact 1842 that this scale is very different than the big one. This one reads in precise measurements, and it has 3 different areas here. So each one had to be scaled to make sure it was reading accurately, because this side over here, this side was reading 0.2 over, and this side was reading 0.4 over. So here I'm just double checking to make sure it still is within weight. Now, what's interesting is the sides are detecting pretty much 100 grams. That's close enough for me. But the center, I don't know if the center is going to be over or under because it's in the center. Now it's reading the same. Okay. So, but this is a very precise scale. I looked, just so you guys would know for the future, and I'm pretty sure when I looked it up on Amazon, this thing costs like $63. This one here is for the adults because it does not need precise increments. Also, this one only can weigh up to a certain amount. I think it's like 50 grams or something before it maxes out. I can't remember. But anyway, Twix has really grown. Like, it's amazing. Like, he's just grown so much, and it's awesome. Just because mainly I hand feed him, and occasionally he will get a dubia roach. And because the dubia roaches are so large, I'm hoping my females will be laying eggs or having babies soon, because I saw one with the Oatha, or however the heck it's pronounced, if that's even the correct way to say it. It's weird how it's pronounced. I can't remember. I had one walking around I saw last night with the eggs sticking out. So I'm hoping there will be babies soon with the dubia because he'll be able to eat them a lot easier. Because right now with the adults I have to cut them up into 4 pieces for him to even be able to eat them. Okay, so next I'm going to get Whisper out. He weighed 43 grams last month. So I'm going to go ahead and get this turned on and then we'll get him out. So at first I thought Whisper was being aggressive, but I think it's, I've been visiting with some people in my reptile group and they just think that he's hit puberty and he just doesn't know what to do with all the energy, so he was acting aggressive because he was biting me and now he's kind of looking at me, so I wonder if he's going to try to bite me. Obviously it doesn't deter me too much if they do bite because obviously Bramble was the type that he was a biter. Oh, yeah, he's doing it now. When I tried to sit him down, he bit the scale and then he kind of tried biting my finger. So I think he's actually just going into puberty and he just doesn't know what to do with all this new energy that he has. So he's just biting my finger, but I think photo day he was pretty stressed and that's why he actually ripped my finger and it was actually bleeding a little bit, but see, watch. See, that's what he'll do. Now, he normally will not hold on for a long time and he'll just let go. But I've started just gripping him behind the head like I would do with Magma when I still had, or not Magma, but when I still had Bramble, because Bramble would try to mate with my hand any chance he got. And so I would just grab him from behind the head like I would do with a snake. Not rough, obviously, but just hard enough that he can't turn his head to bite my finger, because normally when Bramble would get attached, he would stay latched on and he'd of course go and stuff like that because, you know, he wanted to mate with my hand, and it would get old because I'm trying to feed him and he's just attached to my hand. Okay, so Mischief will be next. Let's see if I can spot him. I'm going to pause it real quick. I'm not directly or immediately seeing him right now. So I checked the side of the tank and I found him. He's sleeping behind his plant. So I'll go ahead and get him out real quick. It's funny how well they blend in when you're looking for them. Okay, so here's Big Boy Mischief. Okay, I'm going to get the scale turned on real quick. And while that's turning on, we'll turn and see what he weighed last month. So it looks like he was 53 grams. So we'll see. Oops, there we go. Okay, wiped off my camera lens because I noticed it was kind of a little blurry. Stay. Okay. So it looks like that he's still 53. No, stay. Okay, that's good. So at least he hasn't lost any weight, which is always a plus. Still kind of weird with Raja where he was down by like 20 grams or something ridiculous. I'm pretty sure it was 20 grams from last time. And of course I'm sure that he didn't lose that all in 1 month because I didn't weigh him last month. Just because of the fact that most of the time I don't normally have to weigh him every month because he normally stays a consistent weight. So that's just kind of a little odd. I'll go ahead and put him back in here. Boop! There we go. So the next ones are going to be Snickers and Blaze. They're the last ones to be weighed. So I'm going to have to take and relocate my stuff temporarily so I can get them out. I'll probably just put one in this container and have the other one on my shoulder or something. So that way I don't have to move this stuff more than once. Okay guys, so I got Snickers and Blaze out. Snickers I just sat in there. Blaze I'm just leaving in her teapot for now because that's where she absolutely loves to sleep, as you can see. And that teapot's normally always down here in the corner and it faces inward so it's nice and dark and secure for her. So Snickers weighed 61 grams last month. So I'm going to make sure that this is weighing properly because where I legit just moved it. So check real quick and make sure that it's reading 100 grams still. And if you guys ever wanted to get a scale like this, you can get them off of Amazon as well, I think for $20, somewhere around there. They have a glass tray and then this metal just goes on top, which I leave on. So it's easy for me to use an alcohol swab and just wipe it down if it gets dirty. So we'll do Snickers first. Snickers, here's a big girl. Stay. So it looks like she's still 61 grams. That is good. Get that written down real quick. So yeah, Snickers is a chunk. She's very pretty, and you can see what I mean about the dorsal being a nice, pretty white. So I'm hoping that when paired with Twix and him having that really pretty dorsal that hopefully will be solid white or have, you know, hardly any markings, hopefully their babies will be able to have really pretty solid dorsals. Oh, she's pooping. 1 second. Okay, so Blaze also weighed 61 grams last month, which is pretty funny. And Blaze is going on 6 years old now, and Twix, or not Twix, Snickers, just recently turned 2. So it's like they're the same weight. And this one here is her mom, so that's funny. Looks like she's gone down to 59. That's not terrible. Anytime that they drop, as long as it's just a few grams, it's not bad, because they do, of course, fluctuate, as you can see here. She's been mostly in the 60s, so, but you can see last year she was mainly in the 50s, so it's not uncommon for her to drop and move around. So I'll go ahead and put her back in her teapot. She loves this little teapot. Like, I got this, I believe, at Joann's Crafts and Fabrics, and it was a birdhouse. And I just took the metal and the twine that was in this out and just put it in like that. Put her tail in there. So anyway, guys, that is all of the geckos getting weighed today. And I have Snickers sitting over here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it wasn't completely boring or anything. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you'd like to support the channel. It always encourages me to make more videos. Thank you again for watching, and have a good rest of your day.